Now we need to kind of look at this and find one exciting rookie from both the Bills and the Giants. Personally, I think there's a lot of different. The reason we did this was because I feel like for some NFL teams, who are in the gutter, like the Jets or a lot of other teams that are some Chargers. By the way, the Chargers aren't far off either. I have to make that abundantly clear right now. But the reason I brought this segment and continue to do it is because I feel like it's really important to shed light on younger players who are balling out and need some genuine respect. I think there's a lot of different players in the NFL that just, for whatever reason, they don't get that respect. And personally, I think it's also because they're young. A lot of people haven't heard about them, and I think that it is a shame. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot of teams that just deserve some more respect. So give me a player off the Buffalo Bills that you definitely think that they deserve some respect and they have a bright future with the organization.
So I had to do some film study here because I don't watch a whole lot of them. So I went back and watched some YouTube highlights. But I think a player from the Bills I really like, who I didn't even know was young, is Gabriel Davis, the wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know who he was drafted. I don't remember who he was in college or anything. But he only had, I think he's got 400 before today, of course, 492 yards, 6 touchdowns. But his stats are about what they'd expect for a first-round wide receiver. I think he was a first-rounder, first or second. I know he was in the first couple rounds he was drafted this last year. But just what surprised me a lot, he had very good hands. He's really good after the catch, like sneaky athletic. And he's really smart is one thing I noticed. Josh Allen likes to roll out a lot. And a lot of receivers, they have a hard time when the quarterback rolls out. They don't really know what to do, whether to come back to him, drag across, go up. Everyone complains about that all the time with his receivers. But that's one thing I noticed about Gabriel Davis playing. He's really smart about when Josh Allen scrambles. And he comes back to him, and he finds an open spot almost every time. So I think next year, I think is going to be. He looks like he's got what it takes to be like a top 15 wide receiver, and he looks really exciting. So I think he's definitely my player from the Bills that I would watch going into this next year.
Absolutely. That was the guy definitely I was excited about. But the reason I also did this is because I feel like there's a lot of teams, players on teams, that really need to be that. We need to give him a reason to be excited about it. A guy I think like that is a guy by the name of AJ Epinesa, the defensive end. I think that when you consider he is a guy that I actually wanted the Vikings to get because I felt like he was promising in both pass rushing and then also what he brings in the run game too. I felt like he was pretty solid. 6'5", 270 out of Iowa. Has 2 sacks this year, maybe 1 sack. I don't know. PFF has a weird thing about it, but I definitely think that with all the talent they have, like guys like Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison and guys like that they bring off the edge, I still feel like AJ Epinesa. I hope I get his name right, but I think he's a guy that you really have to watch out for. He has a sack this year again. You like those younger guys that you draft in the earlier rounds to just have talent, that just bring it off the edge. I think he's a guy that you have to watch out for, and I think that he's also a player that you could build around. Especially heading towards to the future. Guy that's only 22, currently owns a 61.2 PFF grade, drafted in the second round, with the 54th overall pick. So I think that he's a guy that defensively he definitely needs to be watched out for in the future. I think he's going to be really something special if he continued to learn. Guys behind Jerry Hughes and all those guys, Mario Addison, again, Ed Oliver, even in that mix as well. So that's definitely a guy. And, I think that another player I looked at here was also a guy, again, by Ed Oliver. Had 5 sacks in his rookie season last year for the Bills, has 3 this year. He was a guy a lot of people were excited about in terms of what he did because he was a small school guy. Definitely had the physical traits to be something special. I'm sticking D lineman here, but I think that he still can be something very special in the NFL now. Had a 48.1 PFF grade this year, not great, but just the pure promise of what he could be. A 6'1", 290 out of Houston. 23 as well. I think there's a lot of stuff he can do in order to better himself, but so he's also playing with a lot of great company with the Buffalo Bills. Last year owned a 65.6 PFF grade. Again, had 5 sacks. Just did a lot of great things for that defense, and I think he's definitely going to be a player to watch for, especially on the defensive side of the ball for that Buffalo Bills defense.